everybody, it's Catherine with Colorado Yard Care again, and today I'd like to show you how to cut back blue mist spirea in spring. So blue mist spirea is a wonderful plant. It's a subshrub, and what that means is that the lower part of the stem grows year to year, it stays alive, but the upper part of the stem, the part that has these beautiful flowers in summer, dies each year. So how do we approach this? Well, the important thing is that we want to take off last year's growth that died back. So one way we can do this is to come into the plant and look for the little tiny leaves that are just starting to emerge on the stem. And what we'll do is we take our pruners and just trim right above those newly emerging leaves. Just like that. So if you look at this stem, you can tell that this part of the plant is still alive because you have these little tiny leaves emerging on the stem, and this portion of the stem is dead. And so this is the part that we want to cut off. So you get your pruners and just clip right above a set of newly emerging leaves, just like that. So on every stem, you just come in and look for a set of newly emerging leaves. On this one, you can see it's got multiple branches. And what I would do is just clip right now above a newly set of emerging leaves on each little stem. And then we'll come back in and shape it in just a bit. Whoa. One reason why this can be a good method is that it preserves most of the growth that you have on the plant, meaning that if your plant's a little bit small or you live in an area where things don't grow very quickly, this is a good way to keep the shrub or subshrub at full size. Still clean it up to get off last year's growth and to promote very nice flowering this year. What you'll notice now is that we've cut back all the stems, but the shrub is kind of irregular shaped. So the next step is to come in and just shape it for symmetry. So what that means is we look at the plant and we notice that this one's too tall, so we'll take this back. And then the outer ones we want to make a little shorter than the ones towards the center. So I just come in and cut back these outer branches just to make the plant look a little bit more spherical. Once again, you always want to cut right above a set of newly emerging leaves, even when you're doing this shaping. So that looks pretty good. It's a nice sphere, and that means we're done. Now the other alternative is if you've got a plant that really needs to be rejuvenated, is to go ahead and cut all these stems to ground level. So let's just look at an example here. If we wanted to cut this whole entire plant to ground level, we would just cut right at this area. And this will cause all the new stems to grow from the base of the plant. They'll be nice and straight, so the plant will be a beautiful sphere when it's growing in summer and will have a beautiful set of blue blooms in July. So folks, there is one method of pruning blue mist spirea that I really don't recommend. And that's where you come in and randomly cut the branches about 6 inches above ground level without any regard to where the newly emerging leaves are. And the reason I don't like this method is because if you do this year after year, then the branches underneath your pruning cuts tend to get thick and woody and distorted looking. In winter, these plants tend to have a really poor structure and be kind of an eyesore. So my recommendation is to, instead of this method, either cut the branches so that you're removing really only the dead portion of the stem, or to cut the entire stem all the way to ground level to rejuvenate the plant. And you can alternate between either of those methods every couple of years. So just to recap, there are really two ways that you can prune back blue mist spirea. The first way is to trim the stems to the newly emerging leaves and then come in and shape the shrub for symmetry. Or the second way is to cut the entire plant to ground level. This has been Catherine with Colorado Yard Care. I'll see you again next time. Thanks for watching.